Hello, everyone. It's Magical Margarit, and I'm here with beautiful, magical Judy Martene. And I just want to welcome you to another storytelling series of Be the Expression, where we're sharing our experience, strength, and hope. And Judy is a local girl from Ontario that I've known for quite a few years. And she has done so many things. And I thank you, before I actually introduce you, just to thank you so much for coming back, rescheduling, because we were trying something on Facebook with this Be Live TV, and it didn't quite go. So here we are with another episode, trying it again. Judy, Judy. What do I want to say about Judy? So much, but we only have half an hour. So, but she is an intuitive counselor, coach. She coaches people all over the world. Excuse me. She has run her own wellness center. She also continues working with women and men now too in her Living Wellness series. But most recently, her most exciting thing is she is a host, producer, and interviewer of a brand new TV show that's coming out this fall called The Kindness Effect. So definitely want to ask you more about that. And I was, putting the subject from tragic to magic. So yes, Judy has gone through many, many tragedies in her life. And I think what I just want to begin asking you, Judy, well, first, welcome. Thank you so much. It's such an honor to have you here. Thank you for your sacred yes. So can you share with us a little bit of your awakening process?
First of all, thank you, Margaret, for doing these series, for reaching out and helping those in the time of confusion and people needing clarity right now. So thank you for fulfilling your role in all of this.
Oh, thank you.
So, I've been asked this question many times. I've done tons of interviews and film and things, and I've been asked that question because sometimes people will have like a pivotal moment in their life, and it's usually one big, huge pivotal moment of an awakening. And I've had several, many. When I was 11, I died on stopped my heart, put me on artificial life support. And I know that there was a huge transformation that happened to me then, and I couldn't quite articulate what it was, but I definitely knew that there was something very different about me after that. And then in my early 20s, I'm living in a very small town. Of course, there's no internet back 40 years ago and no support groups, right? You're in a very small town, very limited. And I was reading a book that talked about meditation. And I thought, well, this is interesting. Maybe this is some of the answers that I've been seeking. So I was, I think, about 20, maybe 21. And I lay down on my couch and I started to practice what the book had said to do, the deep breathing and the centering and everything. And I felt myself leaving the body. And it scared the shit right out. Let me tell you. It's like, what was that? Never had I experienced anything like that before. So I got scared and I stopped. And I closed the book, not doing that again. And the thing is that I didn't have anybody to go to with this information. I mean, would you go to your parents, your mom? Who would you go to? The police, the librarian? Who would you talk to about this type of feelings and things that happen? Would you go to your local church? Like, where did you go? There wasn't anybody. And no one in my small circle of friends talked about meditation or out-of-body experiences or a connection. So I let it go for years. And it wasn't until I was in my 30s, I had a UFO experience. And they were actually working on me and doing some things with me, which I later did a film about. Well, I didn't do it. I was in a film about it.
That's right.
And that transformed me and opened my eyes again. And then probably in my mid-30s, I had this incredible, I don't even have the words to describe it. You know how people go to the other side and they see the light and they can't describe it because there's no words? It was the most beautiful experience with God, omnipresent source energy, whatever you want to call it, where my body vibrated for 20 minutes straight. And all I saw was white light. And I was being downloaded and downloaded and downloaded with information. And I saw the Akashic records and I saw the connection and I saw it all. And, you know, there's been so many other experiences since then, but I would say those were sort of the ones that started me off into seeking. Like there's more to this world than this human body. You know, there's more to this world than raising 5 kids on your own and having
Yeah.
so much drama, trauma, chaos, and stress in your life. It was like this opening came up and went, oh, so I'm more than just this body. You know, so I don't have one, but I have so many, which makes my life interesting, right, Margaret?
Oh, yeah.
Knocking my tripod over.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's right. I'm glad you mentioned that you're in the film. What was that called?
The Resonance.
The Resonance.
I was actually filmed with our past former honorable Minister of Defense, Paul T. Hellyer. And I got to sit beside him at the screening of the film and learn more about him. And then we were on the stage for question and answers. And the renowned Patty Greer, who does crop circles around the world, filming of crop circles, and Susan Collins, who's Canadian, president of Canadian Dowsing Association, and a lot of other influential people in the paranormal world. So it made great connections for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And also knowing that you're not alone, right? So,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're not alone. I knew when I had that UFO experience, the alien experience, that we weren't alone, that there was something bigger. And I think that's why there was been so many experiences in my life, so that I get sort of that bigger picture. And so when I teach and help my clients, I understand everything they're going through because I've seen it, I understand it, I have clarity about it for them. So that's kind of cool, you know.
Yeah. And how you can appreciate having to go through those experiences so that you can help others.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, at the time, it's not necessarily fun
Yeah.
and confusing, but you know, there's a gift in everything. You know, as I teach, and there's the silver lining in every cloud if you just look for it and know that it's all about learning. It's all about experiences and opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah. And so how did you kind of make that switch from, when you are in those painful moments and everything, to come out still being joyful and happy and magical?
Yeah, that's a volume of books in itself, because when I was going through some traumatic things and, you know, preteen, teen, because I was married at 16, pregnant at 15, and went through many tragic things and chaos. Back then I didn't understand, but I would call out and I would go, what's going on? Why me? And I would feel like a victim. Yet I knew there was this pull deep down in that said, hang on, everything's going to be okay. And my mother really wasn't a great support because she was undiagnosed bipolar. So she was in and out, you know, conditional love, and not always there for me. So I really didn't have any other family that I could count on for support. So it was really hard for me to sort of grasp hold of why I was going through this. I certainly didn't understand the best universal law ever, which is the law of attraction. I didn't understand it. I was beginning to study it, but didn't know how it related to me until later on, you know, in my late 30s, probably early 40s. And then, you know, once I understood that, I said, aha, so I am responsible for every single thing that's happened, that is happening, and will happen in my life. And it was this earth-shattering moment. It's like the gates opened up and it like threw me back. It's like, OMG, what, me? It's you? What? And then I started to sort of dissect some of the things that have happened in my life and went, oh, now I know why that happened to me, because I can trace the steps back. And it's always about the worthiness.
Uh-huh.
And it was always about my unworthiness. You know, at times not even feeling like I should belong on this planet. And
Yeah.
actually, I needed to do something about that. So over the years, it's taken its time in building about the relationship between myself and my higher self, and knowing that I am totally responsible for everything that happened in my life. Then it became a gift. Then I started to know how to use it and teach it, and sort of manipulate the energy in my world for change and for
Mm.
purpose. And I think, that's sort of the biggest treasure, when people actually acknowledge that they are responsible for everything in their life. And that's the accountability and integrity part.
Yeah,
And about that, don't we, Margaret?
beautiful, beautiful. I'd love to ask you more about your new project, the kindness effect. That
Yeah.
is, would that be the most important thing for you in your life right now?
No, actually, the most important thing in my life right now is me, and being that selfish me, and looking after myself and following spirit's lead, and which is my intuition, and knowing that every moment is precious, and sort of learning all over again to really, really live in this moment. We're not guaranteed the next moment. So how can I fully live in this moment? Whether it's out there with the kindness television series, or whether it's having a nap, how can I best serve myself in the moment? But yes, talk about the exciting project in my life, aside from my clients and the things I do, is the kindness effect. And I spell the word effect with the A and the E, because it's the kindness affect and the kindness effect. And I truly, truly believe that once we bring back, remember the kindness that's inherent within all of us, one person at a time doing one kind act produces a ripple effect. One person changes the world, one at a time, one ripple at a time. And when I started this project, I was amazed at the people that sort of wanted to talk about it, that it brightened their hearts, that they got excited about life again and started to remember that kindness changes the world. And then all
Mm.
of a sudden, everything started flooding in, websites and people and organizations, and the right people, places, and things started to show up to show me I was on the right track. That kindness changes the world totally. Whether, we see pictures on the internet all the time, and does it not immediately like warm your heart and say, oh my gosh, that feels so good. Oh my gosh, that was so kind of that person to do that. And we know the scientific health benefits of kindness as well, whether we, give an act of kindness, whether we see an act of kindness, or whether we're the receiver of an act of kindness, that it produces these incredible feel-good hormones in our body. So it's like, I think there's something here to this kindness thing. And then I realized, how are you being kind, Judy? Which, is a good thing for all of us. How do we process kindness in our lives? How do we live kindness? And of course, I interviewed you for the Kindness TV series. And, you were so touched by some of the things, your community did for you. And
Yeah.
it touched me listening to you tell me how kindness affected you. So,
Hmm.
what this does is open up the whole heart chakra area. And isn't that where everything starts, in the heart? And isn't love always the answer? So, yeah, am I excited about this? Can you tell?
Yeah. 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 So beautiful. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thanks.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. What I'm asking everybody too is because apparently the world looks like it's two steps backwards instead of forwards with the big awakening right now. And, those of us that really do care deeply about helping helping people to have that hope. We are on a great trajectory, but it might not always look like that. So I'm asking how people, and right now I'm asking you, how do you lean into love when everything looks the opposite?
Yeah. And you said the operative word there, everything looks
Yeah.
the opposite, right?
Yeah.
So, my clients are going through this tremendously, and so is the world. In fact, I just half an hour ago recorded an intro for my new webinar coming up on exactly this. How do you lean into love type of thing? How do you cope when it looks like what's happening to the world? So and I was given this analogy about a month or so ago, because I was asking Spirit to give me something that people could relate to. And I was given this cartoon analogy of this big city and these cartoonish people running around because there's this black inky mist descending on the city. And you could see the mist. It was black and it was inky and dark, and that music in the background. And people are running and they're holding onto hands and they're screaming and they're grabbing their kids and their dogs, and they're running down the streets in cartoon fashion, trying to avoid this black inky mist that's coming down, descending on the city. And they know their world's about to end, right? They know that there's this chaos and this drama and the stress is going to kill them. Well, all of a sudden, this cartoon character with a light sword comes through and starts, going through the inky mess and taking it out, and then the world's bright and light again. So I was given that so that I could explain to people in sort of common sense, layman's terms, what's sort of seemingly happening to the planet, where the dark is really trying to move forward, to put us in this space of more fear, and yet the light shining forth. I mean, look at us. Look at all of us here. Look
Yeah.
at the kindness. Look at you doing this show. Look at you talking about kindness. All that does is constantly throw out white light out into the universe. And more of us are doing this, and light always wins and outshines the dark. So back to, that's the world right now, and we can see it if we choose to look at it, which I choose not to spend any time looking at that or give reference to it, because it gives itself energy. I spend more time loving on me, which I referred to about when you said, is that the biggest thing in your life, the kindness effect? I went, no, I am.
Yeah.
Because I have to be, or I couldn't do the kindness effect. If I'm not loving on me, if I'm not understanding me, if I'm not dealing with my own shit, if I'm not learning and growing and connecting and staying grounded, the kindness effect has no validity. It doesn't stand on truth and integrity. So in my life, it's like every moment I'm checking in with myself. What do I need to know? What do I need to do? Do I need a nap? Do I need to get out in nature? Do I need to meditate? Do I need to have more conversation with my guides? So when I say this happens all day long, I mean it happens all day long. Learn and grow and evolve, which we all are. There's that space that becomes really sacred when that connection happens, because you know you're hearing the source. You know that the things that are happening to your physical body, your emotional body, are there to give us opportunity to decide what we need to do for ourselves, how we need to connect, and what needs to happen. So during my day, there are many, many opportunities for me to have that connection and say, what's going on? What do I need to know? What do I need to do? Sometimes, as I say, it'll be as simple as a nap, because as soon as you nap, you're out of resistance. And then you have that fresh new perspective. It could be journaling. It could be a certain food I need to eat. It could be a certain person I need to call. So every day and every moment, it seems to be different, about that connection. But I'm always quite aware that there's something that I need to be doing in that moment that feels perfectly right for me. And that's the key. It has to feel good. With my clients, the most important saying is, there's nothing more important than that you feel good. And that's what you're talking about, the loving on yourself,
Yeah. Yeah. Beautifully said. Thank you. I just have to share, because I look at things symbolically. When you were talking about the cartoon and the darkness, and just shining the light, and right when you said that, when you shine the light and the light always wins, you kind of moved off to the side, and there was your light switch right behind you. Yes, there, yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, see how we're constantly getting signs of affirmation and signs that just know we're on the right path.
Yeah. Yes. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So I don't know if you want to share about this, but I did see you were posting the other day about the waves coming in. Would you? Is there anything that you would like to share about that with the people in our community?
Yeah, the waves that have come in. It's really time to remember our sovereignty. It's really time to make sure we're connected with the tribe that understands what's going on, or a coach or a mentor who's already sort of has that insight and information. And I love when I get downloads or I read something or something clicks into me, and then I totally understand why the world is the way it is, or why things have just happened, whether anxiety moves through, or there's chaos in the world, or there's an energy force where it's like, I'm out for the next few hours. I
Mhm.
know there's something significant happening in the world. And so then I can relate back to my tribe. I have a group called the High Vibe Tribe on Facebook, and my clients, and help them understand that this wave that's going through is here to support us, first and foremost, and to enlighten us. And it's always about our stuff. It's always about the stuff we're carrying that we don't need to carry. It's about us putting together healthy boundaries for our lives. It's about letting go of relationships. 3 of my clients right now are going through separations of their husbands or partners that they've been together with for years. And source energy is just constantly pushing them, giving them reasons to look at their stuff. And source energy doesn't push, but gives that energy and the reasons for them to look at their stuff and say, is this where you want to be? You have gifts, talents, and passions and purpose for being here. And is this where you really want to be? Can you not feel that tug in your heart? So what's also happening with these wonderful frequencies that are going through is we're really getting lambasted with the things that don't belong in our life anymore. So any fears that you have are getting stronger.
Mm.
Any phobias you have, they're getting in multitudes coming at you. And that's why the anxiety is so high on the planet right now, because people don't know what to do. And they're trying to hang on to their own systems. They're trying to remain in their box and make sense out of it. And you can't. You got to let it go. And you got to get in the flow of minute by minute, moment by moment living. And we're not used to that. And I had to get used to it. I mean, I had control for years. I wanted to control every aspect of my life. So letting go of control means letting go of those fears and those anxieties and those worries. And for a girl like me, whose nickname was Worrywart
Yeah.
for over 20 years, let me tell you how hard that was
Yeah.
to control. But now let me tell you how beautiful life is when you surrender to that and understand what's going on. So does that help, Margaret, sort of explain what's happening on the planet?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in a nutshell. There's
In, yeah.
lots of in a
In a
nutshell.
nutshell. Yeah. Yeah. It is. And that surrender, don't you find that it's just so, well, there's so many words I could say, but not only do you feel loved, but it's exciting to see what happens. Like it's like you just have to show up, and then then when the divine kind of moves through you, you're more in wonderment. You're like, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the release and the surrender, because then you're in tune, you're on the right frequency to know exactly the place you need to be at the right place and time for joy and movement to flow through you in brand new ways. And
Yeah.
it's amazing when people start to feel that, the stories and the testimonies we hear from them about that beautiful space that they've entered into, because they allowed themselves to look at their shit and deal with it. And people say, well, how do you do it? And I say, well, years of practice, number one, but I also have my mentors. I mean, we can't do this alone, nor are we meant to do it alone.
No.
I've had my mentors and coaches for years
Yeah.
that help support me. So we all need each other, and we all need each other for different reasons and at different times and places. So I encourage, your audience to reach out to someone who's been through some stuff so that they can help go through your stuff, to get through what you need to get through. So to come out and sort of be the victor and remember your sovereignty, and to walk into that place that deep in your heart's there waiting for you. Because
Yeah.
we all have that pull and that tug
Yeah.
to walk to our complete fullness.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that, right? Like it's not, we're not the Lone Rangers anymore, that archetype. We do need each other. And as you know, we've are sort of the forerunners, if you will, or just people that woke up a little bit early, because I know I've heard a shaman, and he said, don't worry, we're all going to wake up. Some people are early risers just in life, they get up crack of dawn, and some people get up at noon.
Yep.
So, but now it seems like the world is now going through that dark night of the soul. So the macrocosm and the microcosm are closer together, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, we're starting to see the series of events that's happening as things are like imploding on each other, right? The dark is getting darker, trying to get darker, and the light is getting brighter. So it's like one last stand for all of this crap that hits the fan, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel, and I've been feeling it for weeks now, and so is one of my other spiritual intuitives that lives down in the States. We've been feeling this major shift happening, like a big tsunami is coming to wipe out some of this stuff. We've been feeling it for a while, and my body can feel these energies, these big energies, the subtle energies. It feels energies in rooms. I mean, just last week I went into a shopping center and I had to leave in 5 minutes. There wasn't any sense in me trying to keep away or back off of any energies that were around there because they were increasingly stronger. Because people are trying to hold on to themselves. They're trying to hold on to their old lives because they're not willing to let go. And that requires more energy and more strength. So I was feeling it big time. And the driving out there is chaotic. People are not grounded and they are so stressed. I mean, you know, people going through red lights in front of me all the time, people turning out, people having near misses all the time. It's like nobody seems to be awake in cars. I shouldn't say nobody, but a lot of people. So it's like, okay, Judy, you got to get yourself grounded here, get your hands on the steering wheel and stay grounded throughout this and be aware and be very present that this is happening around us. As you said, that great big macrocosm and micro explosion that's happening, it's big time out there. So, you know, I can suggest to everybody that grounding is one of the most important things you need to do all day long, not just in the morning, grounding yourself or meditating. It's like all day long. Be in this present moment so that you can hear, feel, and see what you need to get from moment to moment. Right?
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. I think that's a wonderful takeaway. Yeah. Being grounded all day long. Yeah. Yeah. That's so great. Well, this just flew by. I'd love for you to share with us how people can connect with you if they want to work with you, or just reach out if they, need to know what's going on. How can we find you?
Yeah. So I'm on Facebook as well, and I know Margaret's going to put the links up there for my personal Facebook page, which is more about teaching than personal, and also my Facebook group in which I do some sharing and coaching in there and guidance and support called the High Vibe Tribe. And Margaret will have the link up there.
Yeah.
And also my website, which is judymartene.com. And I do offer a free complimentary mini discovery session with anybody who's interested, where I can sort of discuss with you and talk with you and share with you, and you can share with me and see if we're a great fit to work together. Because I do have some really incredible gifts that my clients sure appreciate, and it revolutionizes and changes their lives. And I just love, love, love my gifts because that's what we're here to do. Right? And also, I'm doing a free webinar about everything we've talked about here today, more in depth, coming up this week. So I'm just finished the intro for that, and I'll have it up on my Facebook page soon as well. So I encourage any of you to have a free discovery session, because I guarantee you, you're going to find something out about yourself that maybe you hadn't realized before.
Yeah. Okay. So when this will go up on YouTube, but I don't know if your webinar might be past the date. So will you have a recording or something, or yeah?
Yeah, I'll have it recorded, so those that request it, I can send it to them.
Okay, great. And they could request it either on Facebook or if they go to your website, your email will be there?
Yeah, my email's there as well on my website too.
Okay, beautiful. Well, thank you, Goddess Sister, so much for coming and sharing your beautiful story and message and wisdom with us today. It's so great. And again, for coming back. And after the first one didn't quite work out.
That was fun.
So, yeah, thank you for shining your light and giving hope to so many people who are already on the path and who are just starting the path. Yeah, you do wonderful service in the world. So I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your beauty.
Thank you, darling. Have a great weekend. Let me just give me a sec here. There we go. Okay. I'm going to end the meeting now. Bye now.